in the moment, you don't feel the things you're grateful for because your brain has been hijacked by these thoughts that send you down that mental death spiral. And that will pull you out, guys, kind of shaking you back into reality of, hey, you don't have it as bad off as you think.
Yeah. And let me say something. Gratitude is prevention here. Okay. So don't get into a mental spiral and then that's the only time you ever think about what you're grateful for. You have to do this on a daily balance, on a daily basis. On a daily basis, you have to practice gratitude. And like, I was just talking to my mom about this last night. She was kind of complaining about something. And I told her, I was like, take a different route. Let's look at it in a different view. And I was like, listen, I hope people do this to me too. If I'm complaining about something, Jimmy's definitely called me out. He's like, hey, let's take this other way. And I love it when people push back on me. And so I kind of did that with my mom. I was like, I have to look for things that I'm grateful for because it is so easy to get caught up in media and what people say in my atmosphere and get caught up in that and find something. It's easy to find something to complain about. It is. But also, if we put our mindset there, it's easy to find something that I'm grateful for. And so if I live in that state of gratitude every single day and I ground myself there every single day, it's a prevention of the mental spiral. It doesn't mean it'll never happen. It's just a preventative measure. And then once you're in that spiral, it's easier for your brain to remember instead of create gratitude there. It's easier to remember the things that you're grateful for on a daily basis.
Well, and when you ground yourself in gratitude daily, it's almost hard for your mind to fall into a mental death spiral. Like, think about those moments when you start having those mental issues. You mentioned a few earlier. Exhaustion from being tired, from only getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night from somebody I know. Overwhelmed by things that are happening in life, so much happening so fast. So many duties at home that just stay behind no matter how much you work on. No matter how much laundry gets done, it's still lots of laundry. Am I hitting close to home? Those kinds of things will weigh on you. And it's like, if you ground yourself in that gratitude, even in the midst of those things, it kind of keeps you balanced. It kind of keeps you steady. And like, that's what we're trying to do in everything we talk about here is how can we help you stay in that homeostasis? Because if you don't, you're just gonna inevitably do that. And if you're left to your own devices, that's what it will do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I picture the spiral and like where it starts, the event or the thought or the thing. And like the very next thing you run into, if you're not a person who's practiced feeling your feelings, immediately in spiral, you run into suppressed emotions. That's when you begin to feel angry because anger is a reaction. You might begin to feel angry or, maybe you're like me and you have to pull away. Like I begin to feel those suppressed emotions and I'm the feels person. So I try to feel my feelings in the moment, but sometimes, things from my past get pulled up when an event happens or somebody says something that, I not even offended, like that hurts my feelings, and I think about that and I begin to go down the spiral. And so then those suppressed emotions and thoughts, those come up. And then after that, what do? We shame and guilt ourselves. Oh, I should be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. I should be cleaning or I should be working or I should be doing this. And
you need to stop shooting yourself.
Right, exactly. I feel like that was an episode. But like, and then you guilt yourself for, well, I shouldn't feel like this. Like you said earlier, like, come on, Jimmy, what are you doing? We guilt ourselves, and all that does is just push the spiral more, and then we get into avoidance. We get into, well, I can't think about those things because it's too much. But what we don't realize is we think by avoiding it, we're pulling yourself up, but all you're doing is pushing the spiral further when you begin to avoid the things that you're feeling. And at that point, then you get physical symptoms. When you begin to avoid and bury, your body will tell you, you spiraling, girl, okay? And you begin to feel even more exhausted no matter what you do. Like no matter how much you sleep, no matter how much you lay around, you're just physically exhausted. Your body will fight back. Maybe it's holding on to weight or maybe anxiety. You have huge bouts of anxiety. This is mental spiral.
And look, it does impact your sleep, because if your mind is racing, I don't know about you, but when my mind is racing, very hard to sleep, very hard to calm things down. Now, I do a lot of things to help with my sleep, between supplementation of magnesium and keeping a cool room and taking an ice bath. I do a dark room, do lots of things to help in my sleep, and I get really good, efficient sleep, even in short amount of time. But if I'm mentally exhausted, mentally challenged, because I'm in that death spiral, I can't sleep, and it shows up physically in your body. And it's like, before it gets to the physical, by the time it gets to the physical, you're way gone mentally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hard to pull yourself back. And it's too bad some people wait till the physiological response where their body says, all right, bruh, you're not going to deal with your shit in your head. We're going to deal with it for you. Lay down. Now, you're not going to sleep, but lay down. And
Yeah.
like, that's one of my strategies, by the way. When I'm so overwhelmed in my mind and I'm spiraling, one of the things I do, Brittany, and you know this about me, I go lay down.
Lay down.
And you've called me many a times when you're like, what you doing? I'm like, laying down. And you're like, oh, one of those days, huh? And we talk and everything. But yeah. And it's an effective strategy if you're able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is a lot of people suck it up like you, because you've got family duties. You try to lay down, but then a munchkin comes and says, Mommy, I'm hungry. And so that wakes you up, and da da da. And not everybody has that luxury. But if you can, try to like chill, try to deep breathe, try to do anything to kind of get your mind in a better place. And sometimes the mind just needs rest.
Oh yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I did it yesterday. Yesterday, I woke up extremely emotional. We had a big windstorm come through and rip up some things in our backyard, and I was just like, really, really, like, come on. And I was just frustrated there, and I woke up not feeling my best, and I haven't been sleeping well. I had slept amazing for a week, and then I was like, yay! And then I shouldn't have celebrated so early, because then my sleep went way back down. And so I yesterday was but I caught it. I didn't spiral. I was just like, and I even communicated to Jimmy, I'm emotional. I'm clearly emotional. I know why I'm emotional. I know why I'm emotional. I've thought through the thoughts. I'm not, perpetuating some narrative. I just need to lay down. I just need to lay down. And when I lay down, what I have to be careful of, and maybe you're the same way, when I lay down, like you say, you can't really sleep. It's not really like you're sleeping, but you're trying to rest your physical body that is having physical symptoms from the spiral. Like yesterday, I was laying there, and what happens? Guilt and shame, more guilt and shame of, why are you laying down? Like, you need to get up and do the thing.
I don't get as guilty as you do, because I know you get hella guilty because you lay down. You got like family thing. You allergic to something? I see you.
I don't know. My nose is just.
Nose is going crazy.
Someone's talking about.
So, and Mo, for me, it's like, Jimmy, you've got things to do in the business. You've got the book to write on. You've got your podcast that you've got a reel to make. All these things go in my head, and so I do the same thing. I don't know if I guilt myself, other than I just kind of go, well, dang, I need to be working on those. And so the pull to want to get out of bed when I know I need to be laying down. I usually stay laid down, and then at some point, and deep breathing while I'm laying down too, really kind of relaxing the body.
Yeah.
There's just nothing better than using your breath and using other things. Like I know you've had some trouble sleeping, and I recommended you start doing some of the cold showers, and you've been doing that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that calm you down?
Yeah. I actually have a list of like 5 things that work for you. And one of them that I wrote down is, not only am I doing the cold shower, but I've been doing warm bath into cold shower, like the shock, and then cold shower directly into bed. Wild Man's been laughing at me every night, because I'll put the girls to bed and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take my shower. And he's like, he seriously judges me over my cold showers. He is, he's the scalding hot, walk out as a lobster shower, and
well, that's the thing. It's not, you're not bathing yourself with the cold
right.
shower. Yeah, because people and wild man probably thinks Jimmy's a wild man going into 32, 33 degree ice baths. And so
Yes.
I know. I see him online, not him, but I see other people online making those comments. But I sleep good. Hey, the results are in the numbers. I just posted my sleep. I slept 6 hours, just over 6 hours last night with a nap. Of course, today I added a nap, but 6 hours total, and 4 hours of it, over 4 hours, like 4 hours 15 minutes, was REM and deep. And it's like, I'll take that. Like, and it restores my brain. So I don't, this is the other thing. When you wake up tired and you're already kind of groggy because you were yesterday, because you were upset about the windstorm and there were things at the book that we were working on, and just a lot on your brain. And I was like, so I was being real careful with you because I knew you were kind of in a bit of the spiral, and I was trying to, like, you don't like it when I tiptoe on eggshells around you, but I was trying to be kind to your feelings. And I think I accomplished that. I was trying so hard. Because when you're in that, I don't want to be another thing to make you spiral some more.
A lot of people ask me, Jimmy, how do you get such good deep sleep? Well, there's a lot of things that I do, but one of the newest things that I recently added is this upgraded magnesium from a company called Upgraded Formulas. Go to their website, upgradedformulas.com, and you can learn all about this nano technology that they use for this particular mineral of magnesium. Again, it's called Upgraded Magnesium, and it's got all the different forms of magnesium in it using the nanotechnology, so it gets absorbed a lot better. Guys, I have seen my deep sleep improve by as much as 30 to 40% simply by adding in this product along with sunshine exposure, darkness in the room, cooler temperature, all of the things that I always have done. So again, upgradedformulas.com is the website. Go check them out.
I mean, and I kept like articulating that yesterday, and I even said, I was like, this is growth for me, that I am able to talk at all when I was in that state. Like, that's a big deal for me to recognize. And like I said, this again is on my list of like pulling back the layers of knowing why you are there, what event led to it. And I know why I was emotional yesterday. I was extremely exhausted. I didn't sleep at all. I had children climbing in and out of the bed, the windstorm. There's so many factors that was going into it.
You got up late after you were in bed. You got up out of bed, had to go take something to someone. And so, your night was disrupted.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, yes, exactly. I'd already gotten in. Yes. It is just, and so even though it was multiple things, you could group them together. That was the event. And so that event just sparked all of my suppressed emotions. And, I'll even be like extremely vulnerable with you guys. I have this narrative that plays in my head anytime I get like that of, I have to give up my dream in order to accomplish all of these things. This is the number one thing that my brain goes to. Well, looky here, you're trying to make this life work for you. You're trying to do all these things, and you're just wasting your time because you can't be an entrepreneur. You're a mom and a wife, and you have to tend to all these people, and that's the very first thing where my brain goes. And so those suppressed emotions and that narrative explodes to the surface. It makes me so overly emotional. I don't even want to say overly emotional. I'm just super emotional. I just don't like putting overly on it, overreact or.
Yesterday, you were very emotional. Over does seem like you shouldn't. If you, overly kind of has a don't do that. No, you just more emotion than you typically do. And look, I understood the reasons why. By the way, I want to see and I want to tell people about the good side of being in this lower mental state, because something happened to you yesterday. You don't have to talk about the specifics of it, but because you were in that kind of down state, it enabled you to see something and appreciate something that happened later in the day. I mean, feel free to talk about however you want to talk about it, but I feel like this is such an important thing, that it's not all bad when you get in, spiral down, because it's while you're down that you start to look up and go, whoa, like I didn't realize this would happen. So feel free to share whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I will. Well, yeah, to train yourself though, like that takes training yourself that when you get into the spiral, maybe just stay within the top of the spiral.